Okay, picture this. Your company, maybe, gets 5,000 customer support emails just overnight.
Wow. Yeah.
Or you're wading through, I don't know, endless market research docs, trying to make sense of all that social media chatter.
It's a lot.
It's potentially a gold mine, right?
Mm.
All that feedback, those insights. But mostly, it's just, well, it's a mountain of unstructured text.
Raw data.
Exactly. And the real challenge now, especially with AI booming, isn't just having the data. It's turning that raw, messy text into intelligence you can actually use and doing it efficiently at scale.
That's the bottleneck for so many.
So today, we're doing a deep dive. We're looking at how a major data platform, Snowflake, is making it really quite straightforward to connect your everyday data, things like CSV files directly with powerful large language models, LLMs. We're talking about streamlining, whole AI workflows, real-time text processing, summarization, finding sentiment, all that good stuff, without the usual nightmare of moving data everywhere.
That's spot on. The focus here really is simplification and efficiency. This solution, it just streamlines AI integration, and crucially, it's all within Snowflake's own secure, scalable environment.
Okay.
And what's genuinely cool is that it works whether you use Snowflake's own AI stuff, that's Snowflake Cortex, or if you want to hook into external LLMs, like, say, OpenAI.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, it just cuts down so much of the usual friction in getting AI working with your actual business data.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit then. So the core idea basically is taking your CSV input, your text data, and feeding it dynamically to these LLMs, these AI brains.
Yep.
But the key thing you're saying, the magic is it's all happening inside Snowflake, securely.
Within those secure, governed walls.
You mentioned friction before. Why is keeping the data inside Snowflake such a big deal here? What friction does it remove?
Oh, it's a game changer. Honestly, think about the old way.
Okay.
You often had to pull data out of your warehouse, send it off to some separate AI service, process it over there, then pull the results back in.
Right, I can see the problems already. Costs, security.
Precisely. You got data egress costs, you're managing complex APIs, and huge security and compliance risks because sensitive data is moving around constantly.
Not ideal.
Not at all. So by integrating both Snowflake Cortex and those external LLM APIs directly inside Snowflake using automated pipelines, well, your data just doesn't leave.
Just you put.
Stays put. It's processed right where it lives. Maximum security, maximum compliance, which is absolutely critical for, customer data, financial records, anything sensitive.
Makes sense. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for me. Once we've got our CSVs connected to these AI models inside Snowflake,
Yeah.
what can they actually do? What kinds of tasks? Give us some examples of the power we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a surprisingly versatile toolkit. Snowflake Cortex specifically has functions built for a whole range of these LLM tasks.
Like what?
Okay, first up, text summarization. It uses a function called snowflake.cortex.summarize. Imagine you've got, thousands of long legal docs or detailed meeting notes. This can instantly boil them down to concise summaries. It saves just hours of manual work, and it's smart summarization, getting the core meaning.
Okay, that's useful. What else?
Then there's text classification that uses snowflake.cortex.classify.
Classification, like sorting things?
Exactly. Think about that flood of customer feedback. This product is great. This update is buggy. You can automatically classify these. Positive sentiment, bug report, feature request at scale. So you can react way faster.
I can see that being huge for support teams.
Definitely. And then for a whole bunch of other things, text generation, question answering, translation, even code generation.
Code generation, really?
Yep. Also text completion, content categorization, sentiment analysis again, but maybe more nuanced. And named entity recognition for all of those. Snowflake uses one really powerful function, snowflake.cortex.complete.
Wow. Okay, so complete is like the Swiss Army knife here.
Kind of, yeah. For instance, using complete, you give it a simple prompt and it can write a professional email for you. Or you feed it some unstructured text like data about customer transactions and behavior, and it categorizes it. Customer analytics.
Okay.
Or, maybe the most impressive, take a sentence like, Apple released the iPhone 15 in California last September. Complete. Can pull out. Apple organization, iPhone 15 product, California location, September date.
Whoa. extracting structured info from just plain text.
Exactly. Specific entities, that's crucial for analysis, right? For market trends, competitive intelligence. It totally changes how you can analyze text data.
So that complete function seems key.
It really is. And the core technical thing to grasp is that these functions, like summarize and complete, they're Snowflake's direct SQL interface to the LLMs, meaning these AI tasks run natively, right inside Snowflake. You're not making external API calls if you're using Snowflake Cortex.
Got it. Simple SQL.
Simple SQL.
Yeah.
Now, if you do want to use an external LLM like OpenAI's models, that's where Snowpark Python comes in. Snowpark lets you run Python code inside Snowflake right next to your data, and that Python code handles sending the API requests out to the external service and getting the results back, still keeping things tightly integrated.
Okay, that clarifies the how. So we've got these powerful individual functions, but what about using them in, a real-world scenario, processing loads of data continuously? How does this full Snowflake pipeline, CSV to LLM processing, turn these cool functions into an automated workflow?
Right, that's the whole point of the pipeline solution. It's designed exactly for that, taking these functions and making them part of an automated continuous process.
What does it do?
Well, it handles seamless ingestion of your CSV files into Snowflake tables. It dynamically passes the right input data to the right LLM function based on your needs. It supports batch processing for, huge volumes. And critically, it builds in automation using Snowflake streams and tasks. That means real-time or scheduled processing, all happening right inside Snowflake. It just speeds up getting insights and cuts way down on manual work.
Sounds very efficient.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through the steps? Say I have that CSV file full of customer reviews. What's the journey from that file to the analyzed results?
Sure thing. It's a pretty logical flow designed to be straightforward.
Okay.
Step 1. Create a table in Snowflake. Simple SQL create table. This is where your raw data from the CSV will land. You'll define columns for maybe an ID, the AI task you want done, like summarize or sentiment, and the actual input text.
Standard stuff.
Standard stuff. Step 2. Load the CSV. Your data might look like, 1, summarization, cloud computing offers, or 2, sentiment analysis, product failed. You load this into what's called an internal stage in Snowflake.
An internal stage, what's that?
Think of it like a secure temporary holding area inside your Snowflake account, just for staging the file before it goes into the table.
Okay, a landing zone.
Exactly. From that stage, you just copy the data into the table you created in step 1. Easy.
Got it.
Step 3. Now, this is the clever bit, creating the LLM processing query. It's usually a single SQL query using a case statement.
A case statement. Like an if and.
Precisely. It acts like a smart router. It looks at the task column you defined. If it says sentiment analysis, the case statement automatically sends that row's input text to the right Cortex function, probably complete setup for sentiment. If it says summarize, it uses summarize.
So one query handles different tasks dynamically. No need for lots of separate queries.
Exactly. Super flexible.
Nice. What's step 4?
Step 4 is where the automation comes in. It's optional but really powerful for continuous flows. You use Snowflake streams and tasks.
Streams and tasks?
Yeah. A stream can automatically detect when new data lands in your input table, like new reviews arriving.
Okay, it watches the table.
It watches the table. Then a scheduled task, say, running every 5 minutes, automatically triggers that SQL query from step 3, but only on the new data the stream detected.
So it only processes the fresh stuff.
Right. Efficient. And it takes the results, the summary, the sentiment score, whatever, and puts them into a final output table. Fully automated, hands-off processing.
And the result, the final output table.
Yeah.
It has my original ID, the task, the input text, and then boom, right next to it, the LLM's output, the summary, the sentiment, the extracted entities.
And that's exactly it. The raw data and the AI-generated insight side by side.
That really does make complex AI stuff feel, simple and integrated. Like it's just another part of your data workflow.
It is. And if we zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, the actual benefits for anyone trying to leverage AI with their data are pretty significant, transformational even.
Yeah, I can see that. So pulling it together, the benefits really are. It's fully parameterized and dynamic. No hard coding, super flexible, adapts on the fly.
Right.
It supports batch execution with just one SQL query, so you can process millions of records efficiently.
Huge volumes, yeah. You get that real power of automation using streams and tasks. Set it up once, let it run, frees up your people.
Saves so much time.
And finally, it's inherently scalable. It can handle thousands, millions of records easily.
Yeah.
It grows with you.
Absolutely. It genuinely accelerates getting those insights. Think about that support team, again, analyzing thousands of tickets in minutes, not days, spotting issues instantly.
Or marketing understanding sentiment shifts almost live.
Exactly. It cuts down the manual slog and just streamlines that whole AI data workflow. All governed, all efficient.
So we've had a really good deep dive here into how Snowflake is, well, simplifying how you connect AI, especially LLMs, right into your data platform. Taking your raw data, even just basic CSVs, and giving it superpowers with AI, all secure, scalable, and automated.
Yeah, the ability to just ingest data smoothly, apply these sophisticated LLM functions natively, and automate the whole thing, it really does change how organizations can get value from all that text data they have lying around.
It feels like a step change.
It is, for speed, for efficiency, and just for the depth of understanding you can get.
So, the question for you listening is, what does this mean for your work? Or even just your curiosity? How could this kind of capability change how you or your organization deals with text data, especially at scale, automated?
What new insights could you find? What patterns that were hidden before might suddenly become obvious?
Definitely something to think about.
We really encourage you to consider those implications. Explore how these kinds of integrated AI solutions can accelerate that journey. From just having raw data to actually understanding what it means.